My phone buzzed at 11:47 on a Tuesday night. I was already in bed, lights off, long day at work. I looked at the screen. Kevin. And I already knew before I even picked up. I already knew exactly what it was going to be. Not hey, how are you doing? Not bro, I was just thinking about you. No, it was going to be a number. It was always a number. I stared at that screen for a few seconds. His name just sitting there, glowing in the dark. And then I picked up. Because that's what I always did. That's what I'd been doing for 6 years. My name is Jamie, and for a long time, really long time, was the ATM of my family. Not the funny one, not the favorite one, not the one they bragged about at Thanksgiving, just the one they called. I grew up in Dallas, Texas. Nothing fancy, nothing dramatic. Just a regular house on a regular street in a regular neighborhood where everybody knew everybody and nobody was doing particularly great, but nobody was doing particularly bad either. My dad drove long-haul trucks, gone Monday, back Friday, sometimes Saturday. My mom worked at the school district office, admin work, scheduling, paperwork, answering phones. She was good at it. She was good at a lot of things that nobody ever noticed. There were 3 of us kids. Kevin was the oldest, 4 years older than me. Kevin was the kind of guy who always had a plan. The problem was his plans never quite worked out, but he always had another one ready. Confident guy, loud, the kind of person who walks into a room and immediately starts talking. Brittany was in the middle, 2 years older than me. Brittany was sweet, genuinely sweet, but she had a talent for finding herself in complicated situations. Bad relationships, bad timing, bad luck. Or at least that is what she called it. And then there was me, Jamie, the youngest, the quiet one, the one who sat in the back of the car and read books while Kevin argued with Dad and Brittany cried about something. The one who figured out early that the best way to survive a loud family was to just become useful, stay calm, figure things out, be the one who handles it. That was my role from pretty early on. And I carried it right into adulthood without ever stopping to ask whether I actually wanted it. I was a good student. Got a scholarship to UT Austin for computer science. First in my family to go to a 4-year university. You would think that would be a big deal. My dad shook my hand and said, "Good job, son." My mom cried a little. Kevin said, "Must be nice." That was the celebration. I drove to Austin with 2 suitcases and a used laptop, and I told myself, okay. New chapter. This is where it starts. And it did start. I worked hard, graduated, got a job at a software company in Austin making more money than both my parents combined. I was 23 years old, and for the first time in my life, I felt like I had breathing room. That is exactly when the call started. The first one came 3 months after I started my job. Kevin, hey bro, look, I hate to even ask this, I really do. But my car payment is 2 months behind, and they are talking about repossessing it. I just need $2,000 to get through this. I will pay you back end of the month. I swear on everything. $2,000. I looked at my bank account. I had it. I had been saving, being careful, doing everything right. And Kevin was my brother, so I sent it. I told myself this is a one-time thing. He will get back on his feet. 6 weeks later, Brittany, Jamie, I would not call if I had any other option, you know that. But Marcus lost his job and the kids' school fees are due Friday, and I just do not know what to do. I need $1,500 just to get through this month. Sent. 2 months after that, Mom, baby, I hate to bother you. I know you are busy, but the roof has been leaking, and we finally got an estimate, and it came back at $8,000. Your father and I just do not have it right now, and I do not know where else to turn. $8,000. I had to move things, pull from my savings account, push back a plan I had to build up an emergency fund. But it was Mom, and it was a roof. So I sent it. At this point in the story, I was not miserable. I was not secretly angry. There was actually a part of me that felt proud. Like, look at me. I am the one holding this family together. I made something of myself, and now I'm giving back. That felt good. Or at least I told myself it felt good. But something was off. Something small and quiet that I kept pushing to the back of my head every time it tried to surface. The calls only went one direction. Kevin got a new girlfriend that year. Posted about it all over Facebook. Did he call me to tell me? No, I found out through my mom. Brittany, oldest kid, had a birthday. Did I get a call? No, I saw it on Instagram. I got promoted at work. Significant promotion, my first real step up. I called home to share the news. Mom said that is wonderful, honey, and then in the same breath asked if I could help cover a car insurance payment because Dad's truck had been in the shop. I said yes. I hung up the phone and sat there for a minute. That feeling I could not name it got a little heavier that day. The calls kept coming. Over the next 2 years, I sent money so many times I stopped counting. Kevin had a business opportunity that needed seed money, $10,000. He was sure this was the one. I sent it. The business lasted for months. Brittany needed help with the security deposit. Sent it. Then utilities. Sent it. Then a medical bill. Sent it. There was always something. Always. The just checking and calls were so rare that when they happened, I actually felt surprised, like something was wrong. One Sunday afternoon, my mom called with no agenda at all, just called to talk, and I remember feeling this weird unease. Like, what is about to happen? What does she need? When the call ended and she genuinely just wanted to chat, I sat there and realized something that made me feel sick. I had been trained to associate my family calls with requests. That is not a small thing. That is not nothing. But I still did not stop. Because the one thought that kept me in place was this: they are family. What kind of person turns their back on family? And I did not want to be that person. So I kept picking up the phone, right up until the night everything changed. It was a Saturday afternoon in late September. Kevin had called me 3 weeks earlier asking for $10,000 for a new business venture. Trucking logistics, he said. He had a partner. He had a plan. He just needed startup capital. I hesitated on that one longer than usual. That was real money. Months of savings. I asked questions: what is the plan? Who is the partner? Have you done the numbers? Kevin had answers for everything. He always did. I sent the money. 3 weeks later, I'm at my friend Marcus' place just hanging out on a Saturday, nothing special. And Marcus gets quiet. He looks at me with this expression had never seen on him before. Kind of careful, like he was trying to figure out how to say something. He said, "Hey man, I need to tell you something, and I need you to not shoot the messenger." He told me that the weekend before, he had been at a cookout in Dallas. Kevin had been there, and Kevin had been drinking, and at some point, Kevin started talking loud. The way Kevin always got loud when he had a few. Kevin was talking about me, and what he said was my little brother. Man, Jamie is a straight-up ATM. You just press the right buttons and money comes out. He went off to Austin thinking he is better than everybody, but at the end of the day, he is still just our little errand boy. I ask, he delivers. Every single time. People laughed. Someone asked, does he ever say no? And Kevin said nah, because deep down, he needs us to need him. That is just how Jamie is. More laughing. Marcus stopped talking. The room was quiet. I did not say anything for a long time. I just sat there with the beer in my hand that I was not drinking anymore, staring at the floor. Then I said, how long ago did you say this was? Marcus said last weekend. Last weekend. 1 week after I wired Kevin $10,000. I drove home that night on autopilot. I do not really remember the drive. I just remember sitting in my parking garage after I pulled in. Engine off. Not moving. And I thought about everything. Not just Kevin words. All of it. 6 years of it. Every call that started with, I hate to ask but. Every time I moved money around so I could help someone else. Every promotion. Every milestone. Every good day that got glossed over in 30 seconds before the real reason for the call came out. And I finally let myself look directly at the thing I had been avoiding for years. They were not calling because they loved me. They were calling because I was useful. And the moment I stopped being useful, I already knew what would happen. I sat in that parking garage for probably 45 minutes. And then I went upstairs, made myself some food, and made a decision. No more. Not out of anger. Not to punish anyone. Not to make a point. just no more. I did not call Kevin and confront him. I did not send a long text message. I did not write an email explaining how hurt I was. I did not ask for an apology or an explanation. I just stopped. The next time Kevin called 2 weeks later, new situation, new number he needed, I picked up, listened, and said, I cannot help with that right now, man. I am stretched thin. Kevin paused. That had never happened before. For real? Like, you sure? It is not that much. Yeah, I am sure. Sorry. Short call. When Brittany texted about needing help with the utility bill, I wrote back, I am not in a position to help out financially right now. I hope you find a solution. She did not respond for 3 days. When Mom called that Sunday, gently redirected. Mom, I love you, but I cannot do any financial stuff right now. How are you doing though? How is Dad? She sounded confused, like the script had gone off track. From the outside, nothing dramatic happened. No blow up, no confrontation. Just a guy who started saying no. But inside my own life, everything shifted. I started sleeping better almost immediately. That constant background hum of who is going to call today, and what are they going to need, it was just gone. I started putting that money toward myself, built up my emergency fund, started investing seriously, took a trip to Colorado I had been putting off for 2 years, because I never felt like I could spend on myself when family might need something. I started to understand what it felt like to actually live on the salary I had worked so hard to earn. It felt honestly a little surreal, like I had been carrying something incredibly heavy for so long that I had forgotten what it felt like to put it down. The family noticed within about 6 weeks. First, it was Kevin. Text message. Casual. Like nothing had happened. Yo bro. You good? Feel like I have not heard from you. I replied. Yeah, I'm good. Just been busy with work. He sent back a thumbs up emoji. 2 weeks later, another text. Hey, so random, but you think you would be able to help me out with something small? I will explain when you call. I did not call. He texted again the next day. Bro, I replied. Cannot right now. Sorry man. Nothing back. Then Brittany called on a Wednesday evening, and the tone was different this time. Jamie, I do not know what is going on with you lately, but you have been really distant. We are your family. You cannot just check out like this. I stayed calm. I have not checked out, Britt. I'm just taking care of myself right now. Taking care of yourself? What does that even mean? We have always been there for you. And there it was. We have always been there for you. I almost laughed. Not meanly, just at the sheer confidence of that sentence. The absolute certainty that it was true. I said, Brittany, I love you, but I need to go. We can talk another time. And I hung up. The hardest call was Mom. Mom called on a Sunday and said, Jamie, your brother and sister are saying you have changed. That you are being cold. That you are not acting like family. What is going on with you? And I sat with that for a second. I took a breath, and I said, Mom, I love you. I love this family. But for 6 years, I have been the person everyone comes to when there is a problem. And I realized recently that outside of problems, I do not hear from people much. I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm saying it because it is true. And I need things to be different now. Mom was quiet for a long time. Then she said, I did not know you felt that way. And I said, I know, Mom. I know. We talked for a little while longer. It was not a resolution. It was not some big healing moment. But it was honest. For the first time in a long time, it was just honest. That was about 2 years ago now. Kevin's trucking business shut down completely within 8 months. He called once after that, trying to get more capital to restart it the right way. I said no. He has not called since. Not really. We will exchange a text on birthdays. That is about it. Brittany and I talk occasionally. It is different now, less frequent, but weirdly more real. She called me a few months ago, not asking for anything. Just said she had been thinking, and she felt like she had taken me for granted. She did not go deep into it. Just said it, kind of quietly. I said, I appreciate that, Britt, and I meant it. Mom and I have the best relationship of the 3. She calls on Sundays still, and most of the time now is actually just talking about her week, about Dad, about random stuff. Last December, spent the holidays in Austin for the first time. Did not go back to Dallas. My friend Marcus came over. We made food. watched football, stayed up too late talking about nothing important. And I remember at some point that night, sitting there with a drink, just feeling this quiet in my chest that I had not felt in years. No waiting for the phone to ring. No mental math about who might need what. No guilt about saying no, just stillness. I am not telling you this story to make you hate my family. I do not hate them. I genuinely do not. They are complicated people who had their own struggles and their own blind spots, and somewhere along the way they got used to something I should have stopped a lot sooner. That is partly on me. I taught people how to treat me, and when I stopped accepting it, when I quietly, calmly changed the rules, most of them did not adapt. That says something. But here is what I want you to take from this. If you are the person who always picks up the phone, if you are the one who always figures it out, if you are the one who shows up every single time, and somehow still feels invisible, pay attention to that feeling. Do not ignore it the way I did for 6 years. Because here is what I know now, sitting on the other side of all of it, the people who truly love you. They call when they do not need anything. They show up when there is nothing in it for them. They remember your wins, not just your wallet. And if you look at your phone right now and realize most of the people calling you only call when something is wrong, that is not love. That is a transaction. And you deserve more than that. My phone still buzzes sometimes late at night. I look at the screen, and these days more often than not, I know it is someone who is actually just thinking about me. That is new. And honestly, it is everything.